Hi everyone, and welcome along to today's session. It's great to have your attendance again for another one of Meet Your Trading Experts Free. My guest today, a very special trader, a young man who's a student in Singapore and trades part-time in the oil market and has created some sensational results over the last 6 or 8 months. And he'll be great, I think. He'll be talking to you guys in a few minutes. Hi, Soon, how you going? As many of you know, the format for today, we're starting to get a bit established on this. I'm going to start off today. I'm going to have a bit of a look through the markets. We'll talk a little bit about those for about 5 minutes. Then Pingney's going to turn up and he's going to talk about oil trading. At the end, him and I will have a bit of a chat about that. We'll invite you guys to offer any questions that you've got. At the end of that, we're going to do a free draw. Great prize tonight. Great prize tonight. Make sure you stay to the end and have a chance to win that great prize. You must be in the room to win the prize. So make sure you stay to the end and give yourself a chance to win the prize. In addition to the prize, we're giving you a chance to register for a future oil trading event with Pingney. So lots coming up, and a session I'm really looking forward to. We're very lucky to have a lot of different experts come in, but and really all of them in their own way offer something really amazing. But I think the record of Pingney in the year to date, it's been a challenging old market. Well, I think we're about $60 at the start of the year. At one stage, the futures were about minus 14, and volatility gives you opportunity, but that kind of volatility can really hurt you too. We're going to hear today about some of the actual setups that he trades, some of the things that he trades in oil, what he looks at before he looks at the market. We're going to hear some fascinating stuff from him, and we'll be back with him in a couple of minutes. And well done for joining in. Lots coming in today. It's nice to see you guys. It's great to see you guys all in the room. Hi, Paresh. How you doing, Paresh? And got a few guys on the chat. I'll just see what we're doing. Good morning. Morning. Hey, everybody. Nice. Look, going to take you through some charts today. Interesting times. And I said this in my market brief earlier on today that this is now a story about the US presidential election and nothing else. You know, there's all kinds of interesting news this week, and you'd on a normal week you'd watch it and you'd read, but and you'd pay attention to it, but in reality, I think right now we're talking all about this. And look, what I want to talk to you guys a little bit about as we go through these charts is some chart patterns that really interest me. And this is certainly one of them. We talked when we did that, and you can go back and have a look at this stuff. I talked about this in the market preview, that the break of the triangle would lead us to the top end, but that this bar held price for a period of time. And once we got to close above that bar, that we were going to go to this level and on. And we've seen that happen. And this is a really common thing for me in trading markets. What you're looking for is you're looking for a bar that sets up a range, and the breaking of that bar and that range really tells you that the market's out of it. A lot of ranges at the moment, so it's quite an interesting thing to do. And this bar here ran this range to here. We've got to close above it, and that was direction and the move. Now, yesterday we saw a big pullback on Bitcoin. I must say big pullback. It's been a pretty big move. So by comparison, only a small pullback, I guess, really. But really for mine now, for me, hard to get long Bitcoin at the moment. My expectation is that from now to Saturday, we could well see a lot of these things sell. So from now till Tuesday, as we get uncertainty around the election results in the US, and the moment we get certainty around the US election results, I expect to see these things start and go back to the bullish side. Same kind of chart on the Nasdaq. Big sell yesterday, trying to get back in it, but again, no sign of a close above this level, and as long as we're below it, I think that anything below the bottom of this bar here starts to get very bearish on this again. I don't know. I mean, I love this chart pattern. I would trade this long all day long in different circumstances, but really a break at the bottom of this and I'll be low and heading down to these sort of levels here. I wouldn't be at all surprised if we got to the election around 10,700. We'll wait and see. S&P, similar story really. Again, you'll see this again, the big move down, but what's concerning is price sits below the horizontal level. It suggests to me that there's not a lot of buyers here prepared to push it through, and there's a lot of sellers prepared to push it back under. I'm expecting to close below that level today, and if we get that, again, get below yesterday's low, and all of a sudden, some targets down here look well in play. Gold, another one that sold heavily yesterday. Continues to range between this 100-day simple moving average and monthly pivot. Beautiful touches on both of them yesterday, and really that's the range for it for now. Same thing applies really. I'd really be expecting on a normal day to see this rally back up and come back to the top of the range. I'm not really expecting that. Close below the 100 moving average on a 4-hour chart, and I am short on this. And one of the things that I'm really interested in, interesting enough for today being the day, is that we've talked day after day. I know I've been away. I have been quite sick, so I've been away for a few days. But we got to the bottom of the range. We said it was going to go to the top of the range. We got to the top of the range. We said it was going to go to the bottom of the range. We got to the bottom of the range. We said it was going to go to the top of the range. We did actually say Michael halfway on this one. And then we said it's going to go to the bottom of the range. And every time we've said a 4-hour close below the bottom of this range would take us down to 34.74. And the fact that we've broken out and closed below on a 4-hourly chart, if oil's prepared to do it, then frankly, I expect gold to do it. He's prepared to do it. Nasdaq to do it. They're all correlated at some point. This is huge support, and the fact we just blew through that, it does make me feel that we're bearish here. We may see a pop back and a retest to this level, but frankly, I don't think we will. I think we'll see 34.74, not far away in oil. Euro, again, now testing the bottom of its range. It's been in this range for some time. We have had a couple of pops out, but it's right on the bottom, depending on where you have the range. And look, you can always adjust these things, and we could have this range, the bottom of the range, down a little bit low if you wanted to. But I'm going to put it back up where it started and say that for mine, that's sort of the bottom of the range there. And I expect to close below that, not far away. And once I get that, I expect 116.30 to be in play pretty quickly from there. And dollar yen. And all of those in Julian's trade call groups will have gotten this dollar yen short way up here. And you'll be pretty. I think you got an even higher than that. I think I might have got you in around here, up around 100 pips, maybe more at the moment. And looking for this monthly support one to break. And if it does, again, same thing applies here. You know, there's some support around these levels here, but boy, next support is a little while away. It's let's jump out and have a little bit of a look. Yeah, next support is a long way away. So breaks below here. And all bets are off for mine with dollar yen, and we could see a decent move down on it. Let's just so we do have some levels down here around 195. I'd suggest if you're going to get around to that, it does bring 100 into play. We'll wait and see. But certainly a break below the current levels, and we do look to have some downside potential here to have a real crack at heading further down. Hey, Helen, welcome in. Look, so that's my market summary to start with. I'm going to hand over reasonably quickly to Pang Ni. Pang Ni, are you with us?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Well, I can hear you absolutely fine. How are you going?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I've been busy with my schoolwork.
Mate, I want to thank you for coming in and doing this. I know that, in basics, you're a reasonably shy man and you like a little bit of privacy. So I really appreciate it when you come out and do these things and share knowledge with people. I know you find it a little bit challenging. So I really appreciate the effort today. And I'm really thrilled we're going to share this stuff with people through our the Zoom stuff, through our YouTube channel, through our Facebook channels, Fractions to Wealth, and Online Trading Profit. So thank you very much for coming along. Mate, can we talk a little bit about your history? How long have you been trading?
I have been trading well the past few months.
How long have you been trading in total?
I think just past 2 years. I started in 2018, about July. Yeah.
Yep, I reckon that's about right. Just past 2 years, you came into the program with us. And you started off trading Forex, but after a while, you chose to specialize in oil, right?
Yes.
Why oil? What was the driver for that?
Because I think many guys will realize that when you trade Forex, the currency pairs, you realize the price movement and price action is relatively slow compared to oil. So for a young guy like me, I think for my temper, I would like to go for the more exciting.
You mean young guys like us, right? Young guys like us, right? Young guys like us. We prefer a little more volatile stuff.
Yeah.
Cheers, mate. I'm going to jump into the background now, and if you're able to, are you able to share your PowerPoint? Okay.
Yeah, sure. Give me a moment.
Make sure you stay with us to the end of the show, folks. We're going to do a draw of some value to jump into
Are you
Pygmy's
able to see the
course.
slides right here?
Slides are right in front. We can see them just fine, mate. There you go.
All right. So hi guys, my name is Pengmi. So today I will give a small introduction about oil trading. So first time presenting, a bit shy and nervous, so please don't mind my mistakes. So for this short course, and for this my course, I will like some of the things to take away. So after this course, I hope you guys are able to know when to buy, when to sell, and when to exit your trades for the oil. So for this course, basically I will be teaching you about the fundamentals of oil, using historical patterns to predict the next price actions of oil, and price actions like when do you enter this trade, when do you exit, or price reversal, all those. So before we start into this short course, let me introduce about myself first. My name is Peng Mi. I'm a university student in Singapore. So I've been trading profitably for forex and oil for 2 years. And most of the time I place my computers besides my school stuff, and plays a lot of basketball also. So these are some basic stuff about me. So let's go into the fundamentals of oil. So these are the 3 websites that I use to get information about oil, mostly about the news factors, all the data. So for all these websites, I will be covering more during the later dates during my course. I will just briefly run through about what's all this about. So this is basically 5 main data that we use to determine whether we want to trade oil or not, because due to the volatility of oil, the news actually affects the movement of the oil quite a lot. So for this supply side, we will have these API weekly crude oil stocks, which is on Tuesday, which all can be found under this website, forexfx.com/news, and the EIA crude oil stock exchange, which is on Thursday. Then for the bottom is also the Baker Hill oil rig counts, is basically the supply side also, which all can be found under the forex rate. And last 2, which are the currency strength type, which is a non-farm payrolls, is every first Friday of the month, and some Fed interest rate data, which is I'm not really sure when is this they are going to announce. We can stay focused on news to get this all done. So for the course, I will be having focused more into the websites and teaching you guys how to access all the data and how to use these data to analyze your trades. So let's go into the historical patterns. So I use this type of tradings a lot for oil, because I always believe history repeat itself, especially for oil. So you can, when you look at the chart, when you analyze a lot, you can realize there's a lot of repeating patterns, which we can make use of them to trade. So let's have a small activities for this chart, which is on about last year to the beginning of this year. This is the daily chart. Any predictions whether at this arrow right here, what are the next price movement of the oil? So maybe you can take a few seconds to guess, or like to predict, or to analyze the pattern. Okay, so let's proceed. Okay, so we can see that from right here, we can see the price drops all the way to the bottom here. So have you guessed correctly? Or maybe you all know maybe what's my explanation for this course? Okay, so let's see. So as you can see, these 3 almost identical price patterns, where we drop from this area with a small retracement, then we go back down to this level. So this is the same, and for this is the same. So for these price patterns, anyone spot this? Okay, so let's so you're clear about this. This is some of the price patterns which we can use to make use to our trades so we can earn more. So we can see from this price from 59 level to this 50 level is about 900 pips, which there's a lot of pips to be earned. Whether it's small risk or huge risk, you can earn a lot from this. So let's skip the next part. So many of the people will ask, so did I take the trade? So let's share the small trades that I take. So this is a screenshot of my trades when I took this trade. So this the green line we can know is the entry point, and for this part is I've already moved my stop loss downwards and my TP down at this region about 53 or 54 plus. So this screenshot is where I show my friends and some of the accounts that I used to trade. I told them the other managers. So how I think and how do I make use of the trade to use multiple entries to earn as much as I can. So I believe let's go to the results, see how much we can earn from this trade. So this is the positions that went open. So this is, you can see this one lot, which is about 400 pips down. So let's go for the results. So we can see, because it's a Friday, I believe it's Friday night, then I closed off my trade before like reaching my TP, but eventually it reached. So you can see it's basically about 470 pips. So we can calculate it's about for weeks starting from 1st January, for about 1 week until Friday, is about 12,000 we made, SGD we made on that single week. So this is about predicting the price pattern, and you can earn a lot from them. If you're able to get the correct patterns and you are stay focused and believing will get correct strategy to make multiple entries with proper risk control, you can earn just like this also. Okay, so for this short introduction of how I trade oil, so for the course that I'm going to have the next few days, I will be teaching you guys mainly on how do I predict price patterns like just now, and the special part, trade reversal price actions, like when you're at the bottom, how do you know whether it's the time to buy or not? And after you buy, and we will have this trading trend continuation price action. So I will be continuing to teach how do you continue the trend, riding on the wave and adding entries on multiple entries on how to earn more and profiting from them. Then I'll be also teaching all the exit, entry, and hold strategy, whether you shall hold it for longer, when do you know you shall hold it longer, and when do you know you shall hold it shorter, and when do you know when to exit. And lastly, I'll be teaching all the multiple entry strategy and the management. So it's like using the same risk without risking more, and how do we, and using multiple entries to gain maximum profit, and when do we entry and when do we exit for our multiple exit strategy. So this is part I'm going to share. So any questions for me?
So Peng Ni, you're going to be doing a program on 7th of November from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're going to be doing a prize draw after some questions, and have one of the people in the room is going to win a seat in that program. We're also going to give people a coupon code for joining today to join into your program at a reduced price. Now, when you're going to do your course, it's 4 hours on the 7th of November, and that's it, right, Peng Ni? No upsell, no further stuff. You're going to teach them everything you can teach them about oil trading in 4 hours, and hand it back to them. Right, guys, if we have any questions, if you can pop them into YouTube, if you can pop them into Facebook, if you can pop them into the Zoom session, we'll hang around and answer them for you for a little while. Mate, now you do some reading on. Great questions, son. We'll run through the questions, keep piling the questions, and we'll run through them from you guys in a few minutes. I mean, you have a look at some fundamental stuff first, right? You have a look at, oh gosh, what do they call it? Supply of oil, etc. So you've always got a bit of an idea on direction. But do you think that the fundamentals, are they the start and are they most important, or are the chart patterns really what you're looking for?
For oil, basically, if you want to have you want to trade every day, every single day, you have to look at the price pattern, price actions, and the price patterns. So because for fundamentals, they tends to last for a while. So when you are not able to get the entry every day when it starts to run very far or very back down. So for price action strategy, like for the short time frames, we are able to do it for every day and a few trades every day.
Mate, that's great. We'll get through some of the questions that are coming in. Please feel free if you post them on YouTube or Facebook. I'll put them into the chat for us here. We'll go through a lot of the stuff for you guys, answer some of these questions between us, not far away. Pungli, what time frame are you trading on?
For those huge peaks, like those price patterns, I will be looking at the daily time frames and 4-hour time frames. And for those short trades that I trade, the price action type, like the main reversals, I will be using the 15-minute charts.
Great. And how long do you spend in front of the charts? If you're trading for an evening, how long do you spend in front of the charts?
If you want, you need to take your time, sit down in front of the chart and analyze before you place a trade. Analyzing the few price candles in front before you can place that trade. Basically you have to see that pattern before you can take the trade. Mostly if you don't see the pattern, you can just off the chart. You don't need to take the trade.
Look, we're nice and early, mate. We've come through this really quickly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read out the questions that we've got and we'll go through them one at a time. Might do a bit of a recap on your presentation after that. And if we do finish up early, we'll do the prize draw and I might hang around and answer any questions that traders got for us generally. So questions, can show example calculation of position size. You'll do the position sizing in the program on November 7th, right?
Yes, I will be doing all the sizing and risk management of all those.
Fantastic. What does sell one mean? What pattern is that? It shoots up and pulls back and off. When you, I think it's position size again. So Evelyn asked, how much capital do you need to have to trade oil?
Depends on your account size. Basically you are just risking 1% of your capital to trade oil. So it depends on your capital.
So if you're going to trade on Fusion or IFS, you can trade oil pretty much the same as you trade Forex, right?
Yes, basically you can trade oil with small lots also as well.
Is it minimum 0.10? It's not 0.01, right? It's 0.10 in oil, isn't it, for minimum?
Yes, for Fusion, I think it's 0.1, which is the minimum lot size.
Sanjay's asked if your event on the 7th of November is free to attend, and the answer to that is it's not. We are going to do a prize draw tonight, and someone in the room will win one. And look, we're going to do our coupon code for everybody who hangs around until we do that as well. So there will be a serious reduction on Pungli's course if you hang around for the next sort of 15 minutes. And if you're on ATW mentorship or membership student, there'll be further coupon codes sent to you guys tomorrow to help you guys take advantage of some pricing on that as well. So Greg asked, are you trading multiple time frames or just daily, given you're also studying? I think you've already answered that. Is there a best time of day for trading?
I actually use multiple time frames to determine the patterns of whether it's an uptrend or downtrend or the sideways movement before I place trade, depending whether I want to short or I want to long on the trend. So there will be multiple time frames used, starting from the 4 hours, 1 hour, and 1 hour. So basically, there's 3 time frames to watch.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very much. And what is the minimum account balance to trade oil? I think we've also managed to cover that off. And by the way, guys, if you're not aware of this, you can trade oil on your ATW account if you follow the standard rules on it, if you are looking to do so. So doing your FA analysis, can you expect the crisis coming?
I think this is I don't really know whether I can expect the crisis coming, but I do know that I can avoid trading if I know there's something volatile that's going to cause the price to move. So we can avoid that, avoid trading during the specific time frame or the period of time.
Look, we've got plenty of time, so please keep the questions rolling, and I can see I've got a bunch more coming. I'm happy to answer them all and have a chat with Pung as we go along. Mate, question from Sanjay, any indicators you use?
Nope, I don't use any indicators. I use for my daily pivot strategy, which I only use the daily pivot, but for price action, because we only determine whether we sell or long the pair during the candle. What do the previous candles do? So we make our decision based on the price action.
Great, and you're going to explain that strategy in some depth on the 7th of November, right?
Yes, I'm going to explain how do I trade price reversals and how do I enter and exit trades.
Okay, Faye has asked, all markets are both technical and fundamental. Yeah, that's true.
Sorry, is that a question for me?
Yeah, all markets are both technical and fundamental. I think the question is, do you think all markets are both technical and fundamental?
Yes, it's definitely both fundamentals and technical, but for fundamentals, it actually lasts quite a while. So you need all those technicals to teach you how do you get everything out from this long run or this short run or this just sideways movements with just up and down movements.
Let me just check. I think we've missed a really good question. I don't know why. Let me just, oh, here we are. Notice you're trading WTI only or Brent too. Are you just trading WTI or do you trade them both?
The WT and XTI is the same. Just for different brokers, they have different names. They have exactly the same price action, but only different price for all different brokers.
Okay. Does it correlate with any other commodity or currency?
So again?
Does it correlate with any other commodity or currency?
Last time I like to pair it with gold. Actually, I somehow find it moves opposite ways, but when I use this to trade, it actually doesn't work out. So I just focus on this oil chart alone. I don't really compare to any other pairs. But it actually runs quite well with the USD dollars. So when the USD is go up, because it's based on the price on USD, so the oil will go down. So it's related to USD, the currency rate of USD.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, Pung. If you're watching the dollar index on TradingView, you know, if the US dollar goes down, then everything valued in US dollars will go up. But if the US dollar goes up, everything valued in US dollars will go down.
Yes.
And the other correlation is dollar CAD, isn't it? Where the Canadian dollar is influenced by the price of oil. I'd say that correlation runs at about 70% these days. It's not as strong as it used to be. But if you're looking for an FX to trade as a proxy for, you can use dollar CAD, and you'll have reasonable success doing that.
Because can I mention something?
Yes, of course.
Because when I trade oil, I don't. You can look at CAD, but you can also don't look at CAD. Because main reason is because CAD is a currency, and a lot of other factors also determines the currency strength. So not only oil. So if you tend to want to just focus on oil, you should just either see the dollar index or just focus on oil. Yeah.
Cheers, Pungni. So one would like to know which one you weigh more important in deciding to trade, fundamentals or charts?
I will put more effort on charts because chart is the main thing that I use to trade and determine whether I can get an entry that makes it profitable.
Great. Krista would like to know what you're studying and does it affect your trading?
I study economics and finance, somehow related, but it actually don't waste on your trading. You need to focus on the price action and the technicals. It actually don't conflict. But it can somehow say it helps, but it don't really help much.
Okay. I think that's a fair call too, Pungli. Do you use COP data as well?
What is COT? Can I know?
The answer clearly is no, right? COT is commitment of traders, and but we've got some COT data on oil, and it's something that over the next few months, when you've got some time, Pungli, I'll take you through because it can. COT tells you what percentage of the traders are buying oil and what percentage of the traders are selling oil, and quite often it breaks it down to.
I actually do use this, but I will be covering them during the course. Is the some type of where you can see whether how much position are short and long. I actually use this because the price tends to go reverse, opposite with this. I will cover this during the course. Yeah.
Yeah, look, there's there's three types of people who groups are in there, and COT's not a topic I want to get into in great detail right now, but we should do a bit more on it at some stage.
Mm.
We can use AW account for all trading with 1% risk. Yes, you can, no problems at all. Really, if it's on a brokerage that we're providing to you, so we're endorsing Fusion or IFS, we're okay for you to trade it. Little dodgy. That's why the crypto is not on the HW account for Fusion. I'm not that keen on crypto being traded on the accounts generally, but everything else you can definitely do that. From Greg, the multiple entry strategy and management refers to scaling in trades.
Yes. Based on the first entries that we made, then for this strategy, we'll be teaching you how to make extra entries on the same trade so you can earn more and squeeze more of one single trade.
Look, it's great. We have finished really early with Pungli's presentation. We've got a pile of questions coming in. Keep them coming in. We'll stay here and answer them for you when we've done the questions. We will do the prize draw tonight, so we will offer the page to sign up to his program on November the 7th, and we will give you the coupon code for tonight. You are going to get a bit of a discount for this. You've seen the kind of money that he makes, and obviously this is a program that's going to go out at a reasonably premium deal. Does it correlate to CAD too? Good point. I think we were talking about that at the time. From FAD, what about CAD, which is related to it? I think we've covered that, FAD, as well. So it's pure price action that determines the entry from FAD. Is that correct?
Yes. For the reversals and the trend continuation, we will be based on pure price action for the entries and exit point.
Gary, I can see you've got a hand up, but we don't do live crosses in this show. So if you can just type into the chat area whatever your question is. If you just scroll across the bottom, you should see chat. Click on that. You should be able to send a question to the panelists, and we will get it to Pungli for you guys not far away. Look, it's really interesting. I find this question great, and I'm going to I'll actually perhaps like to talk about it. Gary, you raised your hand again. Where you are raising your hand, take your cursor to the bottom of the screen and move your cursor along the bottom, and a number of options will line up, and chat is one of those. Click on the chat option and you can send us a message. I'll tell you what, Gary, in a minute, I will send you a message and see if you can then reply to me. It'll come up for you, I think, at that stage. So the question that I really liked, I'm just going to draw lots of questions coming in again. Of course, oversold and overbought made a difference like recent oversupply. Do you use divergence to place trades?
I don't really know what does divergence to play trades means, but I basically use price patterns to gauge whether I want to sell or short, sell or buy for the oil during that time frame. So there's another one. Question is, which time of the day is the best for oil trading? Basically, I will trade the scaling into the 15 minutes time frame during the Singapore time 9 p.m. onwards.
Mate, look, we've got a few more questions coming in, so I'm just gonna run back through them for you guys here as well. Look, I want to talk about that question from Helen. Of course, oversold and overbought makes a difference. Do you use divergence to place trades? One of the things I really want to remind you, Helen, and all of you guys, and I think it's really important, right, is that not only is every market a little bit different in the way it should be traded, but every trade is a little bit different in the way they use their tools. And people love trying to convince other people that they should use the tools that they use. And really, this kind of stuff's really about trying to find out what he does and not really trying to push words into his mouth. It's pretty clear to me that Pingley's approach, when you listen to him here, right, it's a pretty, and I'm going to keep on words. I was going to say it's a pretty simple price action approach, and that's not actually true. It's a price action approach. Largely, he's really good at it. If you spend some time with him on his charts, he's really good at finding support and resistance, and he's very accurate and he's really consistent in doing that. But he's not using a lot of different tools, right? He's not using 100 different options. And I really like that. In my view, the more you can simplify your trading, the more success you'll have over a period of time. The more you're relying on different extras, I think long term you want to pull those away as much as you possibly can. I'm trading a strategy with Julian at the moment, which uses 1% R. And it's nice and all, you know, and we have a little scanner we got set up for, and that was great and all the rest of it. But truthfully, I can just look at the chart and say it's overbought and it's oversold. I don't really need 1% R to tell me that, because clearly it's overbought and oversold, right? You've got to look at the chart to know that stuff, right? So sometimes with these indicators, I think we get a bit distracted by them from making good decisions and just trading. What time of day is the best for oil trading?
Yeah, I've answered it. Is the US open session 9 p.m. for Singapore time?
9 p.m. Singapore time?
Yes.
It'll be 10 p.m. from Monday, right? Daylight saving in the US.
Yes, the US session basically.
Yeah, and the US session will be pushed back an hour from Monday, guys. If you're following the US session shows that we run, they are getting pushed back on Monday. There'll be new information about that in your newsletter on Sunday. Yeah, what's your favorite price action pattern to trade?
I think I will cover this during the course, but this price action, I mainly use one type of price action to determine whether it is a reversal or a continuation. So this price action is very special to me. So I will be covering this during the course.
Yeah, look, I think it's really fair. Look, I really love the fact you've turned up and you've shown some really valuable stuff, right? I think it's pretty reasonable to keep a little bit for the program. We are going to do your program at a very reasonable price. There's no after course, there's no upsell. So we are going to put a price on the front end of this so you get something for your time. I think it's pretty reasonable as well. I don't think it's fair for people to ask you to share this stuff in real detail for free. I think giving you a bit of information, the information you're sharing is really valuable, but some stuff isn't entitled to keep a little bit of it. Gary, we've answered that. Thanks for asking here. The best time is the US Open. Great question, Dennis. Dennis, can you trade oil using the flow, or is that a risky thing to be doing? Look, in my opinion, you can trade, you know, a chart's a chart. You know, you can trade any strategy on anything. My thing always with the flow, and I say this quite regularly, is that I would never take an oversold signal and buy it unless I could see what price was bouncing off. Now I know that Mikey does, and that's fantastic, great for him. But I wouldn't. I would always wait. In fact, what I would do if I had an oversold sign and I couldn't see what it was going to bounce off, I would trade it down to support and then bounce it. My thing, and look, if you're not one of our clients and you're listening to this, you're going to find this ridiculous. You're not going to believe this, right? But the problem with the flow is it gives you a signal that's too early. Everything else you see in the world gives you a signal that's too late. And the flow gives you a signal that's really early. So I tend to trade it from the signal down to support and then bounce it back up once it gets to support. I wouldn't trade oil or anything else without knowing what it's bouncing off. I don't believe markets bounce in mid-air. So therefore, I don't trade them to bounce in mid-air. It doesn't work for me at all. Susan asked, will it be tough to learn for a beginner trader?
No, it's definitely not tough to learn for beginners, but it's tough for you if not knowing anything and try it yourself. But once there's someone to teach you, you will find it pretty easy.
Look, Pang, it took you a little while, didn't it? You worked pretty hard at this. Let's be clear about this. You worked pretty hard at this, right?
To learn the hard way, learn it the hard way.
Helen, yeah, true. Just confirmation for you knew, I guess. Yep, got that. Cool. From one again, how long you hold the trades you based on the 15-minute time frame, maximum duration before you end in the trade, or you wait till it triggers you take profit?
Yes, I will basically hold until you reach my TPs. It will almost, for all the trades, you will reach about my TP about 2-3 hours, because we are using the 15 minutes time frames, about 15 minutes per candle, so about last a few hours before it either touches the stop loss or the TP. So when I use the multiple entry strategy, I will have to adjust the stop loss and the TPs to a level that you think is the profit is more than the risk that you've made, then you are able to close the whole trade, everything. So does that answer the question?
Apparently it does, but the comment coming from Juan is great answer. Thank you for that. Look, I do want to encourage you guys, if you're on Facebook or YouTube, you can post questions in there. And Maya will keep you an eye on Facebook and YouTube or wherever we're streaming this to. And she will take those questions and put them back into the webinar for us so we can answer them live and real time. So thanks for your questions. And YouTube, Fad, that is great. For those of you on Facebook, feel free to do the same thing. The flow is keeping me from sinking. I love it. Good on you, Dennis. It's a great strategy, mate. One of the things about it, again, one of the things I love about the flow is it's an incredibly simple strategy. And, you know, people love trading to be complicated, and it doesn't need to be complicated. It really is a very simple approach to trading, if you ask me. Look, great answer. Do you hold negatives if trade doesn't go your way? Do you hold large negatives if trade doesn't go your way?
Depending on the strategy that we use, normally that will be touching our stop loss. So so with this stop loss, so we will be either using a reversal pattern to find our next trades, or using the trend to continuation to find the continual trend trade.
Cheers. Got a question from Jonathan today. Could the euro drop due to ECB? Look, in my opinion, it's reasonably unlikely that anything coming from the ECB is going to make a massive difference. Again, it's only my opinion. They're at 0%. I don't think they're dropping interest rates today. I think that there's a few things at play that could see the euro drop. First of all, this COVID thing is just a shambles over there. It's just out of hand. And there really is the possibility of this getting out of hand completely in Europe, where the hospitals can't cope. And I think that could put some pressure on the euro. But the ECB stuff, possibly monetary policy statement, main refinancing rate, ECB press conference. Look, depending on what Governor Lagarde says, there's always a possibility that a central banker can move a market. My bet today is still that, in reality, the market is a lot more interested in Trump versus Biden than anything else. And that's really where, the moves that we're seeing in the market, we're seeing as US dollar moves. We're seeing, as Pang Lee was talking about earlier, the dollar goes up, so oil goes down, or the dollar goes down, so oil goes up, and gold does the same, and the indices do the same. And we're seeing a lot of correlated moves based off the build up to this election and what's happening with that. The real concern for the market, and there's a lot of stuff going on at the moment. When I saw some stuff that was put out today, and something's really good, but my opinion, and it's only my opinion, I'm a trader, I'm not a psychic, I'm a trader. My opinion, the market will deal with a Biden win, and the market will deal with a Trump win. A no decision type effect where Trump won't leave, and there's not a clear mandate. The market will not like that very much, and it'll be grumpy, and that will affect a lot of stuff. I think you'll see everything move: oil, gold, indices, the whole lot of move if that happens. Well, I'm certainly hoping for a clear outcome from it. And, I'm expecting to see a Biden win. I did see a scenario today where they could be tied. God forbid, that would be such a shambles. That really would. Rightio, let me go. Flow is easy because the work done for you on market scan. What you think will happen now with oil below 40 again? Do you think clean energy is going to affect oil trading in the future? Biden flip-flopped on stopping fracking. Will it affect oil trading? Interesting. I'm going to suggest, Pingy, that none of this interests you, right? As a trader, do you think clean energy is going to affect oil trading in the future? Well, if it does, you'll trade the price action to make some money.
Yes.
Biden flip-flopped on stopping fracking. Will it affect oil trading? Well, if it does, you'll trade the price action to make some money.
Yes.
Helen, I think it's, I think would be a reasonably unwise person who took the comments of politicians straight before elections as gospel. I wouldn't panic too much about it at this stage. Let's let them decide who's going to get in there. Just remember, it's the US. They've got to get control of a house as well before they can do anything really. So, I'd expect, I wouldn't be overplaying all this stuff. And again, right now, what the market believes is going to happen around this stuff is priced into the chart. And sometimes that's just the simplest way of doing it. The chart's telling us what the probability is the market thinks of all of this stuff happening. Right now, the market seems it definitely priced in the US election result yesterday, and now it seems to be pausing while it checks that that it thinks it's right. And look, the truth is that as retail traders, we can trade chart patterns and we can compete with the big guys. But when it comes to this stuff, when it comes to analyzing US presidential elections state by state and looking for an outcome, we can't. Yeah, look, it's interesting. I'll get in a minute, James. We can't compete with them, and we just need to be careful and stay out of it. Paul, my cousin owns Sportbet, and Ned's also in charge of Ladbrokes and odds, etc. Talking to him today, there's some very serious late money coming for Trump, but who knows? Look, I think that's quite predictable as well, Dennis. He pulled it out of the fire last time. We will wait and see. And again, for me personally, as a trader, it doesn't matter to me whether Trump or Biden runs America as long as one of them does. As a human being, I like to see Trump gone. I think he's not my kind of human being. But as a trader, you got to be balanced too. Sorry guys, I've had the flu and my throat is starting to struggle a bit with this. Trump has done some very good things in America, and you need to be balanced about that. He's done some things I think are a little bit shocking, but he's done some very good things. Every time there's an OPEC disagreement, how does it affect oil trading? For you, Peng Li, every time, how does OPEC disagreement affect oil trading? Mate, do you follow the OPEC stuff, Peng Li?
Yes, I follow the OPEC stuff, but actually, for me, when there's a nearer to the OPEC terms, I will try to avoid trading because you will never know what happens when you wake up with the trades open.
Yeah, look, it's one of the things as well. To be fair, they haven't quite managed to do what they wanted to do for a little while now. Look, what I'd like to do now, I'm going to ask for a final run of questions for anyone that's got questions, and we will get them sorted out. And then we're going to introduce Peng Li's course. We're going to have put a link in there to a sales page, and we're going to give you guys a coupon code for that. Once we've done that, we're going to do a draw and see who wins it for today. And if you're an Actions to Wealth mentorship or membership student, you'll get a different coupon code tomorrow. For the rest of you, we're going to give you a pretty special deal for coming along today and supporting the show. I do hope you guys are enjoying the show. I certainly love. Look, it's the middle of the night in New Zealand, and I could happily be asleep. I do enjoy bringing these people and talking trading with you guys. I hope you're getting a lot out of it. Been interesting today with a different format, with Peng Li's session being a little bit shorter. A lot of questions coming. I do like the questions. I think that's really neat. So have enjoyed it. If you have any more questions, pop them in the questions box. We'll get them answered for you now. Otherwise, we're going to get Maya to put the link in for the for Peng Li's course. Going to give you guys 10 or 15 seconds on that. I am just going to check what's happening on YouTube. Any more questions on YouTube? Don't forget, guys, if you like the shows, social media people love it when you guys like the show, so don't forget to like the shows. I know we've got a lot on the Zoom webinar for this, but if you're in the shows, like the shows, social media love that for promoting us. Here's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to ask Maya to put the link in for Peng Li's show. I'm going to straight after that, we're going to put in a coupon code, and the full price for the event with Peng Li is going to be $497. But if you use the coupon code today, you'll have $300 off. The coupon code is $300 off, and you'll be able to get it for $197. As I've said, if you're an Actions to Wealth mentorship student or an Actions to Wealth membership student, then you will be able to get a separate coupon code sent to you tomorrow. But otherwise, if you click on the link, it will take you through. I'm going to try this. I'm going to grab the screen and try this. I'm going to highlight that. Oh, well, it doesn't love copying, does it, on this stuff? Let me see if I can make it Control-C. I'm going to go to the page. I'm going to grab the screen for a minute. That's all that means. I'm going to grab the screen. And here's the opportunity to get involved. And I'm not going to bother writing my first name and my last name. Actually, why not? Hey, there we go. And I can pay by credit card or I can pay by PayPal, either one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to say, have a coupon code. And I'm going to click down. I'm going to go right click, paste, and I'm going to put my coupon code in, apply, and it's going to give me a $300 discount for being on the show today. So $497 full price for Pungley's show, $197 if you join us today. If you're an Actions to Wealth trader for the membership or the membership, you are able to get some coupons for tomorrow. You can pay by PayPal or you can pay by credit card. PayPal, credit card. I quite like the Strive card thing. It gives us some different stuff. What I'd like to do now, and look, we are reasonably early still, and so I'm just watching an ad on my YouTube channel. All of a sudden, there's ads on my YouTube channel. I don't know how that happens. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to ask Mai to do a draw. We're going to pick out one of the rules of the competition. To do this, to win this competition, you must be in the room. So I'm going to, in a few moments, I'm going to ask Mai to do the draw, and we'll pick out a winner for Pungley's course on Saturday week, and give them their prize. They need to be in the room. They need to tell us they're in the room when they win, and the winner will be drawn tonight. After that, I'm going to hang around for a few minutes and answer any questions that you guys have got. Again, you can put them in social media. Lovely comment, Paresh. Lovely comment. I think that's really nice on YouTube. That's beautiful, mate. That's nice, mate. We will hang around and answer any questions that you guys have got. I'm happy to answer some questions outside of YouTube at this stage. Sorry, outside of oil at this stage. And we'll roll out of the show in about 15 minutes and do a couple of other things. We have got Ash and Jeff coming. And look, guys, that was, for those that know, next week there'll be no more Ash and Jeff. The UK session's finished. And they're going to focus on the US session. It'll be running from 9:15 to 9:45 Singapore as we look to adjust for US daylight savings. Mai, you with us?
Yes.
Can we do a prize draw?
Yes, I'll just share the screen now. Hold on.
Cheers. I'll keep talking while you do it. So we're going to have one person who's in the Zoom session. They are going to win a session on Saturday week from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. Sing, when Pungley is going to teach you how to trade oil. You've seen his results. They're pretty cool. Let's see what we can do here. These are all the people that are in the webinar. We are going to have to find out what we can do when we get too many people in the webinar. And we're going to click to spin. Here we go. Who's our winner for today? Here we go. It's me. It's me. It's not me. Crystal, are you in the room? Crystal, you need to write something in the chat so that we can see that you are still in the room. Just being minimized and not listening to us isn't enough. You need to be in the room. Bad luck, yes. We've got a yes from Crystal. She's in the room, and we have a winner and a crap. I was so close from Dennis. He nearly won it. Look, Dennis, if you want to be in there, no problems, mate. Just click on the link and look. You've seen again. I'll talk briefly about this. I don't want to get too distracted, but you've seen the trading record and you've seen the money that he makes, and we're going to let you do this program for $197. One screenshot there was $12,000. I think the value is pretty phenomenal. And look, obviously, I was going to say we can't give it to everybody, but we can give it to everybody. But the truth is, we'd also like to make sure that we look after the people that come along and do this stuff for us and share their knowledge. And we want to be a place that people want to come and share their knowledge. And to do that, you've got to treat people fairly, and it's all about treating people fairly. Personally, I think $197 for 4 hours on this is great value. And again, just to be clear, there's no upsell here. There's no follow-up. This is the full package. It's not pay $197 and later there's a bit more. There's none of that. It's pay $197 to get everything Pungley's got to share with you guys included in that. I've got over here on the side, I've got my big screen I trade on, and it's on YouTube, and all of a sudden there's this big picture of me, clapping along. Look, I'm going to open up now for any questions that you guys have got on general trading matters. I'm going to run the show for another 10 or 15 minutes if people want me to, and then I'm going to hand over and give you guys a break before Ash and Jeff arrive at 8:30 tonight. Look, it was a great question, Susan. After we learn the course, do we get support? There's always a certain amount of support, but there's not paid for coaching and that kind of stuff after the program. All the actions to wealth people do, Dennis. I'm not sure if you're ATW or OTP in answer to that. If you're on actions to wealth, a mentorship or membership, you get something. OTP, I don't think it's in there. It's part of the latest OTP mentorship. Drop them a message and we'll have a chat until we can do for you. Oh, great question, Crystal. Great question. You should win more often. Is it okay to trade during election week? In all honesty, it's just not. And those that are in Julian's trade call group, we've just cashed up a trade I put in on pound yen. She just got some TP1 on there. I'll just have a quick look and see where it is. Yeah, look at that. It's all beautifully placed. Take your money on that for TP1. You can take it now if you haven't taken it, if you're listening to the show. But really, I don't expect to be putting out, and sometimes I help Julian to put out his trade calls. It's his strategy. I just have to publish some stuff. Lloyd does the same thing on different times when Julian may not be in front of the charts. The point being that I don't think you'll see many trade calls from us between now and the election. Now we're getting too close, and just a little cheeky one for you guys before we count down to that election. But I don't think you should be trading next week. It's unlikely at this point. I'll give it some thought. Last US election, we asked people to close all their trades and leave them closed, leave their accounts closed for the US election. I don't think I'll be doing that today, this week, this time, but I will take some advice on it from some of the brokers. If some of the brokers start to push out margin and if you're an Actions to Wealth mentorship student or an Actions to Wealth membership student, you'll get a different coupon code tomorrow, and you'll need to jump straight in. And we will limit this. And look, if anything happens that, if you're really concerned, then jump in now and just get it. And, tomorrow we'll swap you out and put the new one in if you guys want to do that. Probably better if you wait, if you're definitely a mentorship student or a membership student and you're clear on that. So the answer to that is yes. Look, one thing I want to talk about a little bit here is that, look, it's a real stretch. Look, I guess now I spent so much time talking to people around the world that jumping on YouTube and talking to you guys, I don't find it particularly difficult. But Pungley's a young fellow, he's quite shy, and we'll be making sure that this course, we won't be having 200 people in that room with him. I just don't think he needs that kind of pressure. We'll be keeping this group reasonably small and making sure that the first group of people who commit to it do it. We'll be making sure the mentorship students get a chance to get in tomorrow. But once we've done that, we will keep the numbers under control. We're not trying to burn him out. We're trying to have him share his stuff as possibly as much as we can. Yep, the mentorship guys will get an email tomorrow. Again, saying that's funny. Whenever we offer anything and we say, hey, there's a follow-up, there's an extra charge, there's an upsell, people go, oh, upsell, blah, blah, blah. Nah. And today we say there's no upsell, and people go, how do we get support? How do we get support? We just can't do both, guys. We just can't. We can't, so for Pungley's program, we're not offering ongoing support. Again, you're talking about a shy guy that's a student that trades full-time or part-time. He wants to get on with his trading. We want to support him to do that. He's a guy that should be trading more money for us in the future. So we're not looking to have any distraction from him at the moment. There'll be everything you need will be in there. If we need to do a follow-up session a couple of weeks later and have asked some questions, we'll organize that. But ongoing structured support. This is not a straight-related coaching type scenario where there's ongoing support in that way. It will be so the general rule for us is that when things are paid for, they're recorded and recordings are made available to you. And when things are free, they're not recorded, just because of the amount of, you guys, I'm sure you understand how much stuff I have recorded. So it's likely that it'll be recorded and it'll be available for you guys. Yep, you can use the trading software, the new trading software. We are trialing the latest version of the trading software at the moment. Peter's away in Cornwall for 4 days. I'd imagine we'll be launching the new trading software in the next couple of weeks, quite possibly in this show next week. I've got a few other things I want to talk about. By the way, guys, while we're doing this, save the date, 21st of November, one-day multi-speaker event. We'll talk more about that in the next couple of weeks, but save the day for the day. An AW account be traded all? Yes, it can. Is it Brent? It's WTI that we trade generally, and WTI on Fusion is XTI. It's XTI, right? I think it's XTI, yeah. But you can trade oil on as WTI or Brent. They are two different products. That's your choice. One of the things I like about what Pungney does is he specializes. I think that's a really important thing to finally do as a trader. You want to learn all this stuff and you want to specialize it back to something and become really good at it. That's really what it's all about for me. You need to learn enough to try a variety of things to get a huge breadth of knowledge, and then you need to work out what works for you and become really good at that thing. Can I use later trading software? Email in. I've not been trading. Thank you, Paul B. Yeah, Faye, just email in. Let them know what you need. If you've got the trading software, it should be available to go for you guys. There's new trading software available next week. Look, guys, the reason that we're not doing the course this weekend is because of the election. We're going to do it next weekend because you guys want to do this course and you're going to want to trade. And what we're saying is, hey, that's cool, but let's trade after the election where we've got some clear direction to trade as opposed to getting just ambushed all over the place. Look, if you've got any more questions, as I said, I'm happy. Excuse me, guys. My voice is doing a bit more than I was planning on. The software we're talking about is the market scanner, the trade manager. If you have any more questions, feel free to pop them into the box. And if you've got any more questions about anything to do with trading, pop them in the box and we'll hang around for a few minutes and answer them as long as my voice survives. We've got our winner for the night. We've seen a few people leave after winning that stuff. That draw was done, Ping Me. I think there's some people that are pretty keen to get into your show. Sorry, Sanjay, but you will find that out tomorrow. If you have any more questions, throw them in the box and we will sit around and answer them. Look, we will have a chat next week about whether next week in the show we'll be talking about the one-day event and the people that will be speaking in there. We are, for the 21st of November, we're talking about getting one of the head analysts for one of the Nordic banks to come and speak to you guys. In addition to that, we should have an options trader coming in and talk to you guys. A fundamentalist come in and talk to you guys. That's fine, Sanjay. We'll sort that out tomorrow, mate. No problem at all. We'll sort that out tomorrow. If you're a mentorship student and you've already used this code, just sign up tomorrow and we'll just refund this money to you. It's no problem, mate. We'll just jump into with this. If you're how it works is if you're trading, if you're paying by PayPal, you're paying by PayPal. If you're paying by credit card, you're paying by Stripe. We'll just go in and sort it out for you guys. It is no problem. How much time does Pungney spend on fundamental analysis a week for oil trading? Mate, that one's for you.
Basically, I will just look at the fundamentals, deciding whether for the whole of next week. Basically, on Saturday and Sundays, I will look through the news and have a hint, have some news related to oil for whether next week I want to have a long, I have a short bias. So, but for mainly when I trade, I will look at price actions.
Cheers,
just
mate.
have a short bias only, but it doesn't affect how I apply my technical analysis and price action entries and exit, all those.
Sorry, guys, I'm just going to take profit on that trade myself. There we go. We'll get it while we're going. Just give it a day. Oh, right. Going to offer once more. If you have any questions, please put them into the question box on YouTube. Put them in the question box on Facebook, and I'll come back to you guys and answer them. I can see myself over there now. I don't like it very much watching that stuff. So if you have any questions, let us know the questions and we'll answer them. Otherwise, we're going to wind it up. 8:30 tonight, we will have Ash and Jeff back. Last show, guys. Multitasking here. I've told Aces a few times, Helen, I can multitask. I can do lots of things poorly at the same time. which now I'm demonstrating by not being able to remember what the heck I was talking about. Ash and Jeff's last 8:30 show tonight. From Monday next week, they'll be on at 9:15. We're moving the rest. It's just the time frame, James. Daylight saving in the US puts the US Open back, so their show will push back 45 minutes next week. So it's their last 8:30 show. The UK show for them is going to finish for a little while. I'm sorry you're going to miss those UK shows, Helen. At the end of the day, the same thing applies. We've asked Ash and Jeff to really focus on their own trading through that time and to share afterwards. And honestly, the moment that there's a suggestion that one of our traders' actual trading is affected by doing this stuff, we've got to step in. It's just not viable for us to have that happen. And it's not right for you guys to have that happen. We want these guys trading the sessions they should be trading and making as much money as they possibly can, and then sharing with you about how they do that. If it starts to become a bit of a distraction, we've just got to pull it back a little bit. There'll be plenty of shows. We'll be announcing new schedules on the Sunday newsletter. Look, honestly, if you guys, I personally, I think Ash and Jeff and their generosity is amazing and huge credit to them. But we have just asked them, for now, just to focus back on their own trading in the US and the UK Open, and to really focus on the US session. The truth is that for the majority of people who work with us in Asia, they can't attend the UK session anyway. So having them do the US session means that while it can be a late night, people can stay and do it. It's not a matter of having to miss work. So that's the choice that we made largely about it. I'm pleased you like it. I think that's awesome. The interaction that's happening for us learning. All of this stuff is about trying to get stuff out in front of you guys openly, transparently, clearly, and talking to you guys about what we're doing. And, so I hope you guys are learning heaps and continue to improve. It's what it is all about. All of the stuff that we do really has only got one outcome in mind, and that is for you guys to make a bit more money as we do this more and more. Any last questions before we wind her up? Look, on that note, I'm going to thank you guys very much for joining us tonight, and I'm going to call it a night. Thank you, Pung Ni, and guys, if you're in the chat, I'm going to leave the chat open for a second so you guys can send your thanks to Pung Ni. Thanks, mate, for sharing so openly. I know every time we ask you to do this, it's a push and it's not comfortable for you, and I really appreciate the fact you're prepared to put yourself out of your comfort zone to help other people get better. Cheers, guys, and it was indeed. We look forward to your session on Saturday week, and in the meantime, guys, trade well. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Pung Man. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. We'll see you next week. I'll be back with a topic. We'll let you know on Wednesday. Cheers, everybody.